With all your favorite news, highlights, and analysis shows, including PTI and Around the Horn, you won't miss a minute from any of your favorite sports all season long. Log on to NASN.com now and join the world of NASN, your leader in North American sports.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the 5-time Super Bowl champion Steelers. Dick LeBeau, the 70-year-old defensive coordinator, just watched his team give up a third down touchdown on a swing to Jones-Drew. Now Scobie to kick off, fielded by Najee Davenport from the 3-yard line. Coverage is good, and he's tackled at the 21-yard line. And back we go to Jones-Drew, the combined yardage, and he was that kind of a player, as John said, in high school. At UCLA, same thing. 4 yards rushing, 43 receiving, that 96-yard return. That's 143 combined yards for Jones-Drew.
He was only 5'7", and but he was never a type of guy that you said, oh, he's too small, because I remember him, again, back in high school, and he was Maurice Drew, and I never heard anyone say anything about this guy is a great, great player. As you said, that's the way he was in high school, the way he was in college, that's the way he is in the NFL.
Davenport gets gang tackled. He was raised by his grandparents, and when his grandfather, whose surname was Jones, died, he took the name Jones along with Drew, so that's how he became Maurice Jones-Drew.
But he is something special. I mean, they have him, as a short yardage runner. He's a pass receiver. He's a goal line runner, and he's also a heck of a kick returner, as we've seen tonight.
And he's the backup back in a way. He plays behind Fred Taylor.
Yeah, but look, when you add up all those yards, he gets it.
2nd and 13. Here's Roethlisberger under pressure, and he'll get slung down at the 14-yard line. He got sacked 5 times the last time these two teams played, and that's Jeremy Mincey who gets the sack.
It's the same problem they had last time. Is they'd get pressure from the outside, and then pressure right up the middle, and then when he goes to step up, they had no place to go, and that's the thing that they did to him in the first game. And you see him getting that big push right up the middle now. It doesn't look like the Steelers offensively have a plan. You can't say, what is their running plan? What is their passing plan? I don't see it.
Not since the first drive, anyway. 3rd down and 16. Roethlisberger almost releases it. Now he'll pack it in, and he's going to get dumped at the 11-yard line. The crowd starts to boo. That's already 4 sacks. Derek Landry, the rookie out of Notre Dame, 5th-round pick, gets that sack. 4 times Ben has gone down.
And Derek Landry is kind of a change-up defensive tackle. You see him, he makes a spin move there, starts to the right, turns back to the left, and catches Ben Roethlisberger from behind. That is a heck of a play. They kind of have these big, strong guys inside, and then when they put Landry in, he's a change of pace.
Sepulveda's kick, letting it bounce. Beanbag comes in, which means the ball was touched by Greg Warren at the 46-yard line. So David Garrard comes in, very engaging fellow. We talked about the fact that Jack Del Rio had to make that choice. He was born in New Jersey. His parents separated. His mother moved the family to Durham, North Carolina, and then she died of breast cancer when David was 14. He had a brother who was 22 at that time who put his life on hold to help raise the family. So he grew up in Durham. He was only recruited by a couple of schools as a quarterback. Tennessee wanted him as a defender, and he opted to go to East Carolina because he wanted to play quarterback. And here he is leading the Jaguars into the playoffs as Taylor takes the handoff and brings it out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, he said when he first went to East Carolina, he weighed 268 pounds. And they talked about playing him as a nose tackle. He quickly lost 20 of those pounds. But, he's a big guy. And I said, well, what would have happened to you had they played you at nose tackle? He said, that never would have happened. He said, I'm too good an athlete. Look at his legs. I mean, just look at, from the 9 on down. I mean, he is a big, powerful guy.
2nd down and 7 from the 49-yard line. Taylor into Pittsburgh territory, and Taylor will pull his way right through the middle of that defense, and you can see the frustration written over Polamalu's body language as he gets to the 40-yard line. 1st down.
You know, Fred Taylor says that when you play a 3-man line, you have to have patience. You get in, you press the hole. You see, you get into the hole, get at the line of scrimmage, let your offensive line work, and then make your cuts. Some backs would have, you know, cut like 4 yards away from that. He pressed it, got into the hole, made his cut later, and then found a pretty good hole.
Jones Drew on the sideline, Taylor in the backfield. Taylor through the middle. Fred, at 147 rushing yards 3 weeks ago here, picks up 8. Tyrone Carter makes the tackle. And tonight, Fred Taylor has now carried the ball a total of 9 times for 29 yards.
And look at that, talking about 9. There's 9 guys in the box to stop this thing. And again, here's the patience. I mean, he gets in there, he waits, and then he makes another move, then waits again, and then he gets that 3rd push.
That time he had a fullback in there. Greg Jones comes in from time to time to lead the way. And here's Jones Drew behind Greg Jones right now. On 2nd and 1, and they give it to Jones Drew. Jones Drew, Mighty Mouse, the bowling ball, whatever. He's got about 100 nicknames, picks up the 1st down.
You know, the thing that he can do is he can run straight up and still be low. And that was what he did there. And he's, you know, you say 5'7", but he is a very, very powerful 5'7". You know, and you look at him and you think, you know, 5'7", you know, a little guy, run to the outside, do those things. He's also a heck of a blocker.
You know, John, they've been calling guys built like that bowling ball since who? Don Nottingham? Wasn't he the first?
Yeah, he was a bowling ball.
1st down from the 29-yard line. Garrard to the end zone and off the fingertips of Dennis Northcutt. Ike Taylor covering on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 29.
You know, he's just talking about Jones Drew and how he blocks. Watch him here. You know, I mean, we know how he runs. Boom. I mean, right there. I mean, they're gonna get pressure. They're gonna blitz a linebacker up the middle. He just stones them right on the line of scrimmage. You know, and that helps David Garrard. I mean, he gets good pass protection, and he gets a little simpler coverages because most of the defenses are set to stop the run of the Jaguars.
From the 29, Taylor is back in. Fred has it. This time nowhere. And that's Larry Foote who comes in to stop him in the backfield.
They caught him in that patient move, didn't they? That he was waiting for something to happen. Larry Foote said, you know, enough of that patience. I'm going to just come and get you. And that was kind of the Steelers' plan. That was what they wanted to do. Is, you know, they knew that the way Fred Taylor would run, and they felt that they had to get penetration and go get him when he was doing those kinds of things.
Steelers down by 14 in that game 3 weeks ago. They were down by 15 at one point. It was 22-7. Pittsburgh caught them. And then Jacksonville scored on a late drive to win the game 29-22. 3rd down and 14. Garrard with good protection has to check down underneath, and it's caught, but only for a short gain by Mercedes Lewis. And the ball will be spotted at the 28-yard line.
They were talking about the protection. We saw Jones Drew. Watch Khalif Barnes here, the left tackle, very athletic guy, good feet, but he's on James Harrison over there. And Harrison, one of the better pass rushers in the league, and one of the Steelers' better pass rushers.
46-yard attempt coming up now for Josh Scobie. Adam Podlish to hold. And that kick is no good. Wide to the right. And you can't blame the elements tonight. Very little wind, and the field is in pretty good shape. This wildcard playoff game being brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh. By Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity. By Toyota, moving forward. And by Coors Light, cold activated bottle. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is cold. Yep, you walk in and you see the Lombardi trophies. And a guy who helped win a few of those right there, our old partner at ABC, Lynn Swan. There he is.
I'll tell you, they were tough to cover when they had, Lynn Swan on one side and John Stallworth on the other side, and Terry Bradshaw throwing to him, and Franco Harris running the ball, and they'd flop it over, and you still had to block L.C. Green and Joe Green. I mean, it didn't get easy. There was nothing easy about playing these great Pittsburgh Steelers teams.
Team of the 70s, Hall of Famer Lynn Swan. Roethlisberger on first down throws. That's Miller, and he'll go next to nowhere. That's Sammy Knight in his 11th year at the University of Southern California, who makes the stop.
I think the Steelers just have to get something going here. Just get a few first downs. Like you say, they had that first drive and it looked pretty good. Then after that, they look like they don't have anything together.
2 minutes to the half. Jaguars by 14.
For Wilson NFL and GST footballs and much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Live the NFL this season on NASN. Your Sunday kicks off with a live NFL countdown preparing you for 3 live action-packed games. Then on Monday, start your week off with more football action and 2 first-run games followed by NFL Primetime, Monday Night Countdown, and ESPN's Monday Night Football Live. Catch daily news and analysis from the experts with NFL Total Access every weekday. And see the best weekly magazine shows including NFL Game Day, Who Is, and Top 10. And as the top teams fight for playoff places, NASN will bring you even more live crucial clinching games. With all this great NFL action, NASN is the only network for true football fans. Log on to NASN.com for scheduling and information.
Toyota halftime show with Bob Costas, Chris Collinsworth, Tiki Barber, and Jerome Bettis. They'll react to the first half. Chris was out in Seattle where he and Tom Hammond called that Seahawk win against Washington. You'll have his thoughts from the great Northwest on the Toyota halftime show. Right now, Pittsburgh down by 14. 2 minutes to play in the first half. 2nd down and 5 from the 40-yard line. To the outside, that's caught by Nate Washington. He'll spin out of bounds to stop the clock. Pittsburgh has all 3 of its timeouts left.
Yeah, they had trips on that one. They'll probably line up the same way with 3 receivers on this side, and these are zone beaters. I mean, here are the 3 receivers right here, and they can run short, medium, and deep. They can run crossers, anything, but he is going to work this side of the field, the right side.
Picks and rolls. Roethlisberger will take off. He'll slide to a stop at the 44-yard line.
That's what he was talking about the other day. He said he knew he was going to have to do that. We're in playoff mode now, and he said there's nothing to save yourself for. And if they're going to give you a lane, if they're going to rush, especially on a first down like that, and give me 6, 7, 8 yards, I'm going to take it every time.
2nd down and 4. 4-man rush. Over the middle, into traffic. Going down at the 28-yard line is Santonio Holmes, and it is a catch. The ball will be spotted just inside the 29. got his hands under it. Then the ball touches the ground. Pittsburgh's going to take a timeout, but he controls it. They can review it upstairs, not challengeable inside 2 minutes. It'll be a 16-yard gain.
Yeah, I think that's a catch. That's fine.
Yep.
That's the type of thing that that they needed here. I mean, they got that, those 3 receivers over there, and they start running combinations, and then if you overreact to that side, then they can come back to the offside.
They're going to look at this during the timeout. He cradles it, then the ball starts to come out. Now, in the old days, if the ball would touch the ground in any way, shape, or form, it was the old Bert Emanuel play in that St. Louis Tampa Bay NFC Championship game after the '99 season. They changed the rules. If you get underneath it and the ball touches the ground, it would be a catch. In this particular case, is the ball starting to come out is the question.
Because if you have control of the ball with your hands and arms, the ball can touch the ground.
He has to control the ball first, which he appears to do. If he controls it first and then it hits the ground, that is in effect what you would call, let's say, incidental contact with the ground.
Right, and that's a catch, and I would feel that the Steelers have to have confidence that that was a catch,
yeah,
because they were the ones that took the timeout to allow all this to go on.
So Scott Green will take a look at it. We think the call will stand. And I know, John, you called that game back in '99 with Pat Summerall, where Emanuel, that was a huge play in that game too.
Right, it was, and they, because part of the ball touched the ground, they said it was complete. But that had been happening in football forever. I mean, Emanuel had control of the ball, and part of the football did touch the ground. But you go back, in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, that was happening.
Well, it created the rule change again. The rule was changed to, do you control the ball before it makes contact with the ground? Right,
because if you have the ball in both, if you have both hands on the ball, there's still going to be some ball left over. That was the argument in that call.
But they want to make sure
that rule.
You're not using the ground as, in effect, an aid to help you control the ball.
Right, or the ground doesn't bounce it back up into you, which would be using it as an aid.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not maintain possession of the ball. After he went to the ground, the ball touched the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Please reset the game clock to 1:27. The Steelers will not be charged with a timeout.
I'm not charged with a timeout. There's no challenge. It was looked at upstairs. So Green saw it a little differently than we did. We thought he controlled it here, and he has control of it.
Yeah, I still think that he has control of it.
I do too.
Well, any part of the ball can hit as long as you have control of it.
Right.
I mean, the fact that, you see the nose of the football hits the ground, but that will happen again, just the fact that the football is bigger than both your hands.
Well, I think Pittsburgh was going to take that timeout regardless, setting up the first time, because they have all 3. And they would have, I'm sure, stopped that anyway without the timeout upstairs. It's at the discretion of the replay official. So they're going to move the ball now back to what was the line of scrimmage, which is well, they're still moving the ball. It's the 45-yard line. It should be at the Jacksonville 45. They had moved it back to the Pittsburgh 45. It has to be at the Jacksonville 45-yard line, so they're going to get it right now. And that will create a 3rd down and 4.
Who's that umpire there?
He's a wrestler. That's Jim Quirk. He's the guy that wrestled Nick Barnett to the ground in Green Bay and got fined a game check.
He looks like a wrestler. He looks like Georgie Animal Steel.
3rd down and 4. Big play here with 1.5 minutes to play in the half. Ben checks down. He's going to get the first down on a check down to Davenport, and some hard running takes him to the 27 and a 1st down. And timeout called by Pittsburgh.
Ben Roethlisberger did a good job here because he's going to get pressure, and again, he just holds it and waits and waits. He pumps to his right, then he looks to his left, comes back, and he finally finds Najee Davenport. That was probably his third or fourth read.
And Davenport came limping off the field, so he's on the bench. 2 timeouts remain for Pittsburgh. Again, they had called a timeout after the supposed catch by Holmes, but the timeout was superseded by the replay booth taking a look at it, so they got that timeout back. They have 2. They have 1 minute and 17 seconds and a first down at the 27-yard line.
That was a perfect use of a check down there. You know, you look and you look up the field, you try and make a big play. If it's not there, you come back to your check down.
Now Carey Davis is in the backfield, first-year guy out of Illinois, flanking Roethlisberger. You've got the bunch formation to the left right there. Roethlisberger immediately looks that way and then goes underneath to Davis, and he takes it to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
You know, and Ben Roethlisberger's in that mode again. You know, you get back there in a shotgun, but you don't have to hold the ball for a long time. Get the ball out of your hands to your playmaker.
5-man rush, and it is intercepted by Derek Landry. The rookie defensive tackle getting a lot of action tonight, especially with the injury to John Henderson. And Landry, number 66, drafted in the 5th round out of Notre Dame, one of 7 rookie draft choices to make the team, comes up with a huge pick.
And again, you're going to see Landry. He's just starting on a pass rush, and he kind of went down and stumbled, and then he got up, and the ball was right there on him. You see, he really didn't get into his pass rush. Those are pretty good hands for a defensive tackle. But Ben has to see that. I mean, you know, that's a, you know, I don't know. I mean, I hate to second guess and say that you don't need that play, but a middle screen in the red zone is a very, very dangerous play.
Now Jacksonville can try to add to its advantage. You have Taylor running his way up to the 32. Jacksonville has 1 timeout. And they appear content to go into the locker room with a 14-point lead. And they're going to get the ball to start the second half. Remember, Pittsburgh took that opening kickoff, went 80 yards in 10 plays. And since then, nothing.
Mike Tomlin looks like he's in shock. Because, I mean, here you start off, you're up 7-0, and now even just before the half, you're going to get a shot, you're going to get a score, and then boom, you throw an interception on a screen pass.
Then with 3 picks, here goes Taylor, and Fred will end the first half, having carried the ball 12 times for 33 yards. And the crowd lets the Steelers know what they think about their performance. 21-7 Jacksonville at the half. Bob and the gang with the Toyota halftime show coming up on the other side of the break.
I was fortunate enough to win it a couple years ago, and there's no better of a feeling to know that you're the best football team in the world at that particular time.
When you were young, you would see all of the old school guys, you know, holding that trophy up, kissing the trophy. It's the best feeling in the world, I'm sure.
That's why we go through the grueling season, the grueling preseason and training camp to hoist that trophy in there and say we're world champions.
This is what you sweat, bleed, and shed tears for. It's all worth it if you can get that Lombardi trophy in your hands.
It's treasure, man. If you get it once, guys play their whole career and don't even get a chance to sniff it.
These two teams trying to remain in a position to hoist that Lombardi trophy. It's a long way away, specifically 4 weeks, as we start the third quarter in Pittsburgh. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kramer. If San Diego beats Tennessee tomorrow. San Diego beats the Titans. Then the winner of this game goes to New England. If the Titans were to upset San Diego, then the winner of this game would go to Indianapolis. Mike Tomlin, the second youngest coach in the league, 35 years old. Lane Kiffin is out in Oakland. The only guy who's younger as we start the second half with a very short kick that's fielded up at the 28-yard line by Montel Owens. And he is stopped at the 32, and we check in with Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Well, Jack Delrier told me they withstood the early surge of the Steelers and settled down, but he said they have to possess the ball more and get more production out of their offense. Very fresh in his mind is the last game when they were up by 15, but the Steelers came back to tie, although the Jaguars eventually won. John Henderson is available, but it'll be doubtful if he's going to play. As for Mike Tomlin, threw up his hands to me and just said, we have to stop throwing interceptions.
And Roethlisberger threw 3 of them, 2 to Mathis, 1 to Landry in the first half. From the 31-yard line, they begin on the ground with Fred Taylor for a gain of 2. You had Drew with that 96-yard return, which took the ball down to the 1-yard line. Taylor scored from there. Roethlisberger, great opening drive, but then 3 picks since. 2 of them by Mathis and Jones-Drew combined with 96 yards, a 43-yard touchdown reception. By the way, the 96-yard return, the longest in postseason history that did not result in a touchdown. 2nd and 8 from the 33. Garrard throws, and that's intercepted. That's exactly what the Steelers needed as James Farrior picks off Garrard, and Pittsburgh has it a minute into the second half.
You know, that's the first thing they need, and now they need Ben Roethlisberger and the offense to come in and do something about it. You see the rush here, and the linebackers, again, just stopping back, just reading the quarterback and making a jump on that ball. And it was a great job by James Farrior. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, that's just a 3-man line, zone defense. Farrior dropping back, reading the quarterback, looking at Garrard. When he moves, you move.
Farrior had 1 in the regular season. As we said, Garrard only 3 picks all year, and Davenport cannot get to the outside. He's turned back by the outside linebacker, Clint Ingram.
Yeah, Davenport never will get to the outside. I mean, that's the thing that, you know, we said earlier that they lose without having Willie Parker, and Davenport is a north-south runner, and then you say, okay, well, he ought to, you know, run north and south, stay inside, but that's the strength of this Jaguar defense. So they either run into the strength of it, what Davenport can do, or they run away from the strength, and it's something Davenport can't do.
2nd and 11. That's Ward in motion. And the pass is thrown over the middle. They go to Miller, the tight end, and Heath Miller picks up a first down as he gets to the 32-yard line. That's Ingram in on that stop.
I think the Steelers just have to go back to stuff they did on that first drive, that, you know, the passing game, the quick passes, the play action passes, just like this. You know, I mean, just get back, get the ball out of your hands, get it to your playmaker. And the closer they get to the goal line, the bigger playmaker Heath Miller, their tight end, becomes.
He's caught 4 tonight for 37 yards. And now this is Russell to the 30. Ben Roethlisberger, his last postseason game before tonight was the Super Bowl. And in that game, he was 9 out of 21 for 123 with 2 picks. So an anything but stellar performance, but he ran for a touchdown and they beat Seattle. And tonight, 3 picks.
Well, you know, quarterbacks have to have short memories. I mean, you can't get satisfied with your work if you have a lot of completions, but you can't get down on yourself if you have 3 interceptions. You have to forget about it and just start like you haven't thrown any interceptions, because you're going to have to keep throwing the ball.
2nd and 9. They take it to Russell. A pass caught on a slant by Santonio Holmes. And that'll move the chains. First down to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You know, they have the strength over here to the left, and then you get a one-on-one back on this side on Rasheed Mathis. The defense overcompensates to the left, and then you can bring Santonio Holmes on the inside, and he's the only guy over on that side of the field. It wouldn't go to that well too often.
Davenport, the running back on this play. And he gets stood up by the linebacker Darrell Smith after a pickup of 3 to the 13-yard line.
Darrell Smith's a good player. I mean, he's been an outside linebacker, and there with injuries with Mike Peterson, he becomes an inside linebacker, and he's been cross-trained, and he just plays very well. I mean, he reads well. He's a strong guy. He's a good tackler. He plays with excellent leverage.
Davenport flanking Roethlisberger, 2nd down and 7 now from the 13-yard line. To the outside to Holmes, and cutting through what they had hoped would be the blocking to get him to the end zone was Brian Williams, who gets inside the screen and makes the stop.
Yeah, I don't know that they need that. I mean, they got in the red zone just before the half, and they threw a middle screen, and that was intercepted, and now this just kind of slows them down. I mean, they had things going. You know, they were getting the ball up the field, and I don't know that you've done enough yet for screen passes to be effective. I mean, I like the other stuff that they were doing.
They went horizontally instead of vertically, and it's 3rd down and 9. That was a loss of 2.
I think, again, Hines Ward and Heath Miller have to be big here.
4-man rush. Roethlisberger steps away, and then that's caught at the 10-yard line. It's going to be 4 yards shy of the 1st down. That's Davenport making the catch. Sammy Knight makes the stop, and Reed and his gang will come on for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, that screen pass is a call in there that really follow them up. I know what they were trying to do, you know, pop it out there, get a couple blockers in front, like you said, and, you know, and take it into the end zone. But they had the other stuff going. I mean, they had the tight end and, you know, those zone passes. They were doing well with them. I think they should have stayed with those.
28-yard attempt, Sepulveda to hold. Reed missing just 2 of 25 attempts this season. And that one is good. The Garrard interception leads to a Steeler field goal to make it an 11-point game early in the 3rd.
There are 380,000 NCAA student athletes. And most of us will go pro.
Most of us will go pro in something other than sports.
In something other than sports. Go to ncaastudent.org to find out how.
Chevy, an American Revolution. By Wendy's, hot and juicy burgers that are made to order. That's right. By Vonage, a better way to phone for less. And by EAS, don't waste your workout. You'll waste your workout if you start eating that, I'll tell you that. Totally waste your workout. That was good.
It's a lot of fun, though.
It is.
You think they'll kick to Jones, Drew? The last time they kicked a short one, and I would expect they'd kick another short one.
And this one is short, but it's touched, and then it goes out of bounds by Greg Jones. If Jones lets it go, and it just goes out of bounds, they have the ball at the 40-yard line. Instead, they'll wind up with the ball at around the 20.
For years, the face of the tight end position has been Kansas City's Tony Gonzalez. Other tight ends make catches. He makes plays.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Though a capable blocker when asked, Gonzalez is best known for his work in the passing game. The veteran is the Chiefs' all-time leading receiver.
What a day for Kansas City's brilliant tight end, Tony Gonzalez.
These guys look fantastic. I'm so proud.
Join the Reebok Hockey Revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
The guys at PTI are on board to enlighten us on the lighter side of American sports.
A certain, how did the French say, I don't know what?
What means I don't know what.
They even embrace European culture. Well, at least they're gonna try.
Today, how did they say that in England, Mike?
No guess today, Maurice.
I guess that was very southern British. Good night, Europe. Here's the flags and the nation.
Pardon the interruption. Catch Mike and Tony exclusively here on NASN.
Falling again in Pittsburgh. The terrible towels are out in force. Steelers with a #1 defense in the league. Roethlisberger waiting to get back on the field as Jacksonville has it at the 18. The Jaguars tonight have only 115 total yards. The big plays were